listeners, welcome to Taku Katsu. I am your lovely host, Vicky, here with my lovely co-host, Cori.
How you doing, everybody?
And my lovely co-host, Patrick.
What's up?
This week, we watched Skate the Infinity, and you know it's good when it's spelled SK8 on its sideways like infinity. So, first, this is about skateboarding. What do you think, Patrick? How did you like it?
So I like the two main characters. In fact, I think I like all the characters in the show. I hope there's a girl character that shows up and starts skating. And in fact, I'm already thinking that the little character that was introduced in the first episode is probably a female in disguise. I don't really know, but that's what I'm hoping for, because they're all boys.
Nope. That's dude.
I mean,
that's a reverse trap.
Yeah, exactly. That has to be it. So please let that. I might watch the show just to see that last character, because I gotta see a female skater, and that would be really rad. But
he's a dude.
Yeah, I like all the characters, and I think that's a really big driving point for the show. I'm not a really big fan of skating in sports anime, but it being like a skateboard, I feel very resonant with rollerblading, because I used to rollerblade. So it reminded me if there's a game called Jet Set Radio on the Dreamcast.
Oh, love Jet Set Radio.
And I love that game so much that I felt like if there was an anime about rollerblading, very similar to skateboarding, but I was like, yes, this would be my jam. So for the skateboarding part, I mean, animation's great. I love the style. It brings back like that, again, Jet Set Radio punk graffiti style of it. And I think it's really great. And again, the characters for me are like the really strong point. We got the red hair boy Ricky, and we got the blue Langa, who's the cold ice, but
the cool cold type.
Yep. But I feel like they don't overplay with those common traits as well. Redhead, blue hair, boys.
There's a bit of back and forth on it. Love it. Cori, what's your thoughts?
I like that the dude that's definitely a dude. His name is Cherry.
Yes.
Oh, Lord Cherry.
Yeah, I am waiting for some jokes to come out of that name.
Oh, Cherry-sama.
Oh wow.
Oh, whoops.
All right. Well, if Cherry is not a dude, we'll see how that evolves.
Wait, he's not a dude?
Cherry is definitely a guy.
Oh, is that who you? Oh, I thought you thought Cherry wasn't a dude. Who did you think wasn't a dude?
No,
there's a little boy.
The cat boy.
I don't remember Cat Boy.
He doesn't appear. He doesn't appear in episode 1. He's like in the intro, but he's like the only character that isn't introduced, I think.
Oh, okay. Then nope.
You definitely see him more in the second episode.
Okay, I didn't.
Oh, she watched though.
I watched this in English because I was like, why not? Japanese or English?
Japanese.
Cool. So, because I feel like I've ended up taking that role. Like, I'll just randomly watch it in English if I've watched it twice. I only watched this one once, but I was like, I'll just watch it in English. I'll probably be the only one. The dub was super good. Like, it was nothing unusual, no weird voice changes or decisions. I thought the music was good. Like, I usually don't notice music in anime or video games. Don't ask me for music recommendations. I will not give you one because I don't know them. But when it comes to this show, I was like, this is pretty good. It feels good. It fits. It doesn't overwhelm or anything. Art was good. Definitely feels like this was a show that they were like, this show's going to be popular, so let's put some money into this. So yeah, I definitely thought that was it was a good show for that. And I think the guy's name is Cherry, and that's hilarious.
Yep. His counterpart is Joe, the
owner of the skate shop.
Is that the chef?
Yep, the chef. the
buff chef.
The bara. Oh man, I love the jumping into what I like. What don't I like? Nothing. I like it all.
Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed this? Vicky picks a show with boys.
It's an ensemble, and everyone you think of as maybe as a side character is quite clearly going to be like a rival or someone that's impactful throughout the story, and they each have this own special style. Like Cherry he's the AI skater. There's the chef Joe, who's just man.
Okay, have you watched like 6 episodes of this?
No, only 2. But I will finish.
Because I'm like, what are you talking about? AI skater? Like, dude was accompanied. All right, keep going.
Wait, no, he was introduced in the first episode.
He introduced that he runs a company and he doesn't hire 17-year-old boys.
And then later, when Langa's like, I'll do it, and then he shows up and they're like, Cherry-sama, and they're like, the AI skater. He's there and he's
I didn't catch the AI skater part, but okay.
It might have not been there in the Japanese, English.
He was on a motorcycle or whatever with his long Ayame hair from Fruits Basket. But
yep. I love all of it. The boy that is the cold type, but he opens up when he finds something he likes. Langa is
that's a little on the nose for him too. Literally the cold type, because he's like, I used to. I mean, we don't know. I don't know.
Snowboard.
Professionally snowboard.
Yep.
Like, Jesus. Okay.
He was
more obvious, please.
Snowboarder from Canada.
From Canada.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And he's like, that's all I need to say, right? Like, this is my name. I'm from Canada.
I just wonder, is he French Canadian?
I don't know if that's how he's half, but
also, it was his mom who's Japanese, right?
Yep.
Does his dad show up, or is he got an absent father?
For a little spoilers, there's no issue with the dad being an absent father, I'll say.
Okay.
Oh, so he might have spoiler. I mean, I'm just taking a guess. He passed on.
Yep.
I'm just taking a guess.
Yep.
Because they have the picture.
He died in an avalanche while trying to make a skateboard out of trees.
That's why he stopped snowboarding.
Right.
And that's why he has his redemption story. Yep.
Yeah, he did stop snowboarding.
Bam, it writes itself, guys.
I'm not going to call this show the most original show. Let me just put that there.
There's nothing like there's a show called, I want to say it was like Air Gear.
Air Gear.
Yeah,
that was definitely the show.
I think that one was a rollerblading sports anime.
That was rollerblading.
Yep.
And just like then, I want to like grab the focus and start to learn it. Like I tried to learn rollerblading. Don't like rollerblading. I like roller skating. I can't skateboard, but I want to learn. So if I start breaking some bones, y'all know it's going to be because of Skate the Infinity.
Did you ever play Guitar Hero?
Yep. And then I bought it.
Did you learn the guitar?
I bought a guitar.
Yeah. Okay. That tracks.
That does. That's how they get you.
Okay. I'll say this about my complaint about the show, since you're gushing on it so much. What is up with the Rose Bride Hisoka Brando? What was that? Like, dude, he was the Rose Bride because all the roses and you love Utena.
Yep.
He was definitely Hisoka because of his hair, and he was just like, oh, boys. He didn't say that, but I interpreted it that way.
Wait, hold on. Are you talking about the secret villain? Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
Yeah. Dude,
Dio.
He was the Rose Bride combined with Hisoka combined with Dio Brando.
Yes. I was like, okay.
He's all of those things.
And now we get to why I wanted to watch.
Boys.
I will admit, I might have seen a scene from later in the series that had that character in Langa, and it was entrancing because it was like amazing. I'm not even going to spoil it because I want to see it again myself. And you can't get back the feeling of when you first see that scene and you're like, what? So I'm going to leave that spoiler for you. But yep, mysterious business suit man that like is this wicked skater. What?
Did you take off his shirt a lot?
I don't think so.
It felt like he just always does it.
I think he was just naked while he was watching.
He wasn't quite naked.
Oh, I forgot about that part.
He's watching the TV. He's doing his musical villain cliche, right? And he's like, and he's watching all the TVs. Too many TVs. Come on, too many TVs. Too many
Yep.
boys.
Too many of one boy, and then it all turns into just one picture of him. And this boy is 17, mind you, which I think is the age of consent in Japan. But man,
isn't it like 16 or something?
Yep.
no,
It's around
he's 17. He tried to get a job.
No, I'm saying I think the age of consent in Japan is 16 because they love to talk about that in video games.
Yes. Okay. So it is, but to a point. There's like levels.
There's an age gap. There's like it's like a 2-year, 3-year kind of like, I don't know. It's weird. I mean, it's.
So you're saying it starts at 12? I'm joking.
No,
anyway.
You're kind of joking,
editor,
but there's a
cut that
sliding
out.
scale. Yeah, take
Cut that out, editor.
Take this out.
No, leave that in because we know that Japan has some very complicated cultural norms.
No, well, people say Japan has like their age of consent's 13, and it's like technically it starts, but it's not like anyone. It's not like that.
All or nothing.
Yeah, it's like.
But like I said, they have complicated cultural norms because their censoring has very specific guidelines.
Yep.
Right. Like, but then on the flip side, like they allow the creation of some very like
out there
outlandish
stuff.
Interesting stuff. Yes. We'll call it interesting.
If we could,
it's definitely very complicated because, like, on one hand, they're really, really rigid. Like, they will prosecute you for touching a girl's butt on a train.
Hey, which they should. Which
I'm not saying they shouldn't. But then the exact opposite end is like, but we're definitely going to show 8-year-olds dating their teachers.
Where are you seeing 8-year-olds dating?
Card Captors Sakura.
Cartoons. It's a cartoon, guys.
Let's just say Japan's the quiet one. And
so you closely identify
Japan as a nation is the quiet one.
Yep, it really is. Like, we're the quiet ones, but their age of consent laws, they're out there. It's valid. It's like you can't just date a 13-year-old. 2 13-year-olds could like date each other, but
I mean, that's not outside of what we do.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. They just have it codified better. But yeah, there's definitely that mysterious figure of like, what's his deal? And yes, he was shirtless, fixating on this brand new skater, this rookie. And I could see how that could be a bit of a problem. A little bit of a problem.
Yep.
But overall, you get to meet some crazy cool characters.
It is an engaging show. I definitely was not looking forward to watching it. And now it's like, all right, once the season has ended or paused or whatever, I think to get to the third section, I think I would definitely take a look at the show later. I don't know if I'll watch it actively now.
Yeah.
There's tons of shows that I'm like 2 episodes in from like 2 seasons ago. And I'm like, I need to watch that.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be one of those where I'm like, oh yeah, I should watch like 2 more episodes.
Mm-hmm. I did not want to stop watching it. I'm like, hell yeah. I love sports anime. The music gets you pumped. Yeah. It makes you want to go out and do stuff. It makes you feel good if you fail at that stuff. You just got to keep trying. Oh, just good stuff.
Yeah. It is. I would agree. Again, like I said, I'm not too much of a sports anime person, but this show has a budget, has good characters, some pretty good comedy as well. And I think that's more than enough to keep pulling for me and making me watch the show and to see how that turns out. And yes, I want to see who is Dio, and and I want to see a girl skater. I got to see that little girl skater. Hopefully, she is the one because we got to fill that quota.
I think you're gonna maybe. I don't know if that's a boy or girl. I don't
know either. I'm hoping it's a girl.
I think it's just a cat boy. But what didn't you like, Patrick? We started with a bit of what Cori doesn't like. We'll continue with what you don't like.
I guess honestly, it's kind of a hard one for me as well because I think at the first episode, really engaging, interesting characters. It's hard to judge find something I don't like out of this. That's like something that I just don't like from the show. I think this is just couldn't really find anything. Yeah, it's the tough one.
It did a really good job of explaining the premise of the show in an engaging way. Like we learned about I don't know if it's illegal, but it's definitely like this underworld skating
thing
that's very invite only. that we learn about what beefs are. It starts in the middle of a beef, actually, between one of our main characters, Reiki, and Shadow, the anti-hero of the S scene. And oh my god, episode 2, you start learning more about like their individual normal day backgrounds, and it's really good. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say like the ending of the show, like the ending is like it shows them kind of like practicing and failing. That is amazing ending. It's like they're all practicing and they're messing up. You see them getting hurt.
So good.
It's so good. And as Shadow as a character, I'm like, this is how you write a good villain or like a good anti character. It's just.
So did you watch 2 episodes as well?
No, I just saw just the first episode, but it's just that's why like there's a lot to like about the show. Yeah, I even like the villain of the show, who like he's just, you know, I'm glad they made him like not a pretty boy as well. I mean, he's like a clown.
Well, with Shadow, he comes off as the person you think is the villain, but is actually like just there to be that friction, but he's not like who you're going to go head to head wanting to bring down. Absolutely.
Kind of like throw firecrackers at you so you can win.
Yep. Have you guys seen Street Fighter lately? The movie, the live action movie? No. I watched it yesterday for reasons, and it reminds me.
Do you mean the old one, not
the old Raul Julia, Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Oh yeah,
Guile's speech, Street Fighter. Yep. Zangief, one of the henchmen of Bison, he comes off as kind of like that kind of character where he's like a big buff guy, and while he seems like an antagonist, he's just a soft boy inside that is misguided. Especially,
I assume he's gonna be a good guy. Like I assume like they got the party right, that's the whole party, but then they're gonna be fighting the secret villain, the final boss, you know, at the end of the show.
I can't wait to see more like skate battles, like just a taste you get.
I had written down, it's kind of like Initial D, but with less ugly faces on their mouth.
Oh my goodness. I mean, you could have picked any comparison, but Initial D was just like, yes, that is a show to compare it with.
And as someone who's not super into cars, freaking love Initial D. Like, I started reading the manga. I was like, oh, this is great. It's enjoyable. Like, I have not finished it. I will never go back to it. But I put in some time into Initial D. And this gave me some pretty good Initial D vibes. Like, it looks better in a lot of ways. It's not got that weird CGI car. But, like, Initial D as an anime knew how to sell it. And it really did.
Plus, great music. Draws you in.
And honestly, the reason I started thinking Initial D was like the 2 female characters who were like, oh, what's going on? I'm like, their lips aren't ugly. I'm like, oh yeah, Initial D. Like, it just, because that was the problem with, I'll complain about this with Initial D, is the lips look terrible. They look really weird. They're all like super, just, it's weird. And like, because the female characters in Initial D have their like stylized look and they look fine. But then I always focus on the main characters, all the characters in the shows, weird lips. So then when I saw this, I'm like, oh yeah, it's like Initial D. Especially because it was like a downhill course at midnight, and it was very similar.
Can't say I remember much of Initial D other than Deja Vu.
Yeah, I know all the songs too. There's some good stuff.
Yeah. So it sounds like I'm definitely going to maybe watch it in the future.
Hell yeah.
I can't say I will immediately. Patrick, you going to keep up with this one?
Yeah, again, I same with you. I probably will watch it once it's like caught up and I could just like binge it.
Watch it.
But yeah, it's a fun time. It's a really fun time.
Yeah, I'm going to watch more today. I'm going to just watch all of it. That's up.
So last week we watched Scar the Praetor.
Yes.
Is this going to just completely boot that out of your memory?
Yes. Oh, wait a minute.
Are you going to like completely forget and be like, nah, let's watch the other Pretty Boys?
It's a different type of Pretty Boy, though.
It is. And it's better animated. It's more cohesive. Like, they also had in this one scenes where you're just seeing someone like in the center of the screen and the background's moving. But I like how they did it better than Scar on the Praetor. A little bit. And in fact, finding this one did take the tab of Scarred on the Praetor, so we'll see if I remember it and go back to it. But Skate the Infinity, it's definitely going to be my watch it right now.
Yeah. When you need your dose of pretty boys, you go watch them skating infinitely.
I swear to God, someone needs to stop me from buying a skateboard because
oh my gosh,
I've never broken a bone yet, but I'm so accident prone that it's only a matter of time.
You're saving for a house. You're saving for a house.
That's right.
Don't break your bones. It costs $2,000.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
I learned that recently.
Yeah, but you broke your bones doing adult things.
Sure. I fought a lawnmower. I lost.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting statement.
It's a true statement.
You won't find that in anime that you see. But speaking of what we are obsessed with now in our Watch It Net right now, Cori, instead of coming into the sin bin with me this week, I'm taking a break. Gotta, get clean.
We're gonna go into the sin closet now. Like, there's the bin, here's the closet. We're just gonna focus on perving out for pervy reasons. Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation.
Mm-hmm.
Since we watched it, what was it, episode 5?
Yeah, I think it was like 2 episodes ago. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was 7 then.
Yeah.
Anyway, whenever we watched that, that was great. So I've been watching that pretty much weekly. I'm waiting for it to come out tomorrow, which is Sunday. And I wanted to kind of go over that since we talked a lot about Redo Healer. I know that there's a lot of people out there giving out their hot takes, and since we're releasing these like a month later after we record them, basically, it doesn't matter. But we'll definitely talk about Redo Healer in the future. But for now, I suggested we kind of talk about Mushoku Tensei.
Yeah.
Because Vicky, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I like the debatability of Redo of Healer just because it's very contentious. It's just open for debate. And Mushoku Tensei is a little bit the same, but on the lighter side, because they're both dealing with, if you could do it over again, what would you do? We see the bad example, and now I want to see if there's a good example, because I, for one, have still only seen the first episode. So take me on a journey into the world of beautiful magic. Oh, it just looks so good.
It really does. I also watched, I guess we're up to episode 8 with Mushoku Tensei now.
Wow.
And I also kind of follow that journey. I love this show. And again, it's like we said, it's a parallel of like pervertedness and the idea of, what would be given if a second chance. Probably say these are two extremes on that end. Obviously, the person from Redo Healer, Kiaru, is in the fantasy world. He doesn't have any sense of previous life, but he has he knows what he has experienced from his previous life, but not like a other world isekai. He's in the fantasy world and he understands the rules of that world. And he is on the extreme end of pure evil, lawful evil, whatever you call it. We don't really care what you call it. He's a madman. But with Rudy from Mushoku Tensei, he's had, again, a pretty traumatic life from the background and from the human world, but he's been isekai'd and given a second chance. But still, his perverted 33-year-old self, I believe.
34, I think, is when he died.
That man was 34? Oof.
Yep.
Yeah.
And in the math of Mushoku Tensei, he will be 44 now, because and Mushoku Tensei, after episode 8, I believe he's 10 years old.
Oh.
And yeah, it's kind of his journey and his experience of let's try to redo this. But again, it feels like he does make the same mistakes throughout the episodes of making bad decisions, even if he has previous knowledge of his past life.
Yes. So I'm going to talk about the stuff that's not great, so I can talk about the good stuff for way longer. Okay. So I'm going to just briefly spoil some big stuff. Vicky, you okay with that?
Spoiler alert.
Yep, I'm
okay. All
I'm
right.
aware.
I'm not gonna go through plot by plot, but I'm gonna just mention all the big stuff. So, episode 1, obviously we talked about that, right? He's a perv. He dies. He's pervs out on his mom. His parents do it in front of him. He's a baby. Moving on. Episode 2, he gets his little master who I swear to God is supposed to be a lolly because he definitely calls her a lolly, and he's like, I want to marry her. And then he takes her panties.
It's great. It's a great...
Right? Straight up.
Huh.
Straight up. Just steals her panties, and then she definitely gets caught enjoying the sounds of Rudy's parents having sex.
Hold on. Could you go into detail about that?
Oh boy.
I can.
Hold on.
I can.
We have to
Explain-
please. We have to please to Vicky's audience.
I'm looking out for you, sin bin babies. No. But like, when you say that, was this something that had to be censored and like?
Nope.
No censoring at all.
She's just.
So, okay. So for the context, as I mentioned, I think before, or I've done it off camera, his parents have sex.
Mm-hmm. They
Often enough that they're like, hey, guess what, audience? Guess who's doing it? His parents. Like you hear noises and whatever. So what happens is Rudy's teacher comes in, they do their thing, and then at some point Rudy sneaks out of his room because he hears his parents doing it, I think. I forget the exact context. And he walks over and he sees his master, who looks like she could be 12. Whatever.
She's 2,000 years old. She's a demon.
My
She's a demon. They age differently, guys.
Is she?
I forget how old she's supposed to be because I don't remember if they tell us. Anyway, let's call her 16 and move on.
Right.
Of some age to have gone on this to be a teacher journey.
Right.
This world is weird. Okay, actually, so okay, I'm going to jump ahead. Rudy at like 5 or maybe 8. He's like 8. He goes out on the journey to be a teacher.
Yes.
Kind of by force. So she could be 12, okay?
Okay, but
True.
Rudy proved that he was way more advanced than even his teacher thought because he was doing
That's
magic
nice.
without stuff.
I'm not talking about how Rudy is a convenient plot point. I'm talking about how this potentially not 16-year-old, maybe a demon, maybe 2,000-year-old, was
That's all I'm
sitting
saying.
outside
All
of
I'm
his
saying.
parents' room, potentially, it seemed like, and she was enjoying herself. That's what I'm saying. So if you're into that, that was a great scene.
It's for the plot, you guys. There's a reason why.
That I don't feel like was plot relevant.
No, that was totally not. That was totally for that. I'm sorry, guys.
My most generous explanation is: would this kind of thing happen? Probably, because that leads into episode 4.
Yes,
I'll go back to episode 3.
It does.
Where basically their live-in maid, who's always thought that Rudy was a perv as a negative 1-year-old baby, like he's always been a perv, who definitely stole her underwear. She finds out, again, this is a pretty good spoiler for episode 4, she got impregnated by Rudy's dad.
Yes.
The scandal.
Yes, the okay,
that's like, oh, that makes sense. Like for a show where they are all about people having sex with each other, mostly the parents, it makes sense that this traveling lady would see this handsome night man and hear them banging all the time, might get herself caught up in the moment, and then the maid who's lived with them for years, similar situation. And then she, decides, you know what? I'm down with having sex with my master. Yes. I can see that. Yes. That makes sense.
Yes.
Is it literally to motivate the plot in that episode? Yes.
Can I also say in episode? So again, I like this show because it dives into like that's plot point. The sex plot points. It also takes place. Sense. It makes sense. And also episode 3, where apparently Rudy like saves Sylph, the green-haired girl in the show. Yes. He saves her from like 3 bullies, right? And the bully's mom comes over and says, Rudy punched my, beat up my son, and I want you to apologize. But Rudy is like, I don't think that's the case. I think the bully's mom is just into my dad.
Yeah.
And so there's like that little tidbit is like, there's something going on with, like maybe he's just a handsome man. But we find out later in episode 5.
This dude gets around.
Yeah, no, he gets around. But we see later in episode 5 or some time like that. Rudy comes from a noble line called the Gray Rats, and there are like 4 branches of this bloodline, I guess, and it becomes similar to like a Game of Thrones type of deal where like,
ooh,
it's really interesting because like you're expecting this to kind of be like, oh, it's about video games and how they explore that, but episode 1 and 2, right? But later on, you get implied like being a Gray Rat is like kind of being a royalty or something like that, and they come from a well-off family. But
so to expound on that just a little bit more. So as they get through episode 5 to 8, they talk more and more, not like extensively. It's not like whole episodes, but it's like bit by bit about how how Rudy's family is connected to
like the kingdom, nobility. The nobility and like the kingdom of the Grey Rat. Yeah.
So Rudy's dad is a knight, and as a knight, he is like landed gentry, but he's like lower nobility, and he's definitely a horn dog. Like he is hitting on and flirting with and definitely having sex with most of the females he can. Like most of them. Like he is all over the place. But there are other Gray Rats, and so he comes from like the second branch, kind of like Neji in Naruto or what have you. Cat's here. Sorry, everybody. So
I'm fascinated that this is okay. First of all, they can show the parents doing it. The dad. Hold on. The parents are doing it. The maid's getting off with the dad. The very young au pair teacher is getting off to the parents getting off. But Kaoru can't take someone. Kaoru can't take someone's like thank you in sexual form. Yeah, okay, all right. But go on about how this dad is just whoring around this country and he's got like all these little bastards or something.
So to be more clear,
it's for the comedy, you guys.
Aside from the fact that there's definitely a lot of sexual goings on in both of these shows. The difference primarily, aside from all of the offensive crap that I am offended by in both shows, is that it's usually not even remotely shown. It's like they're about to do it and then they're off in the corner. And I think the maid situation was like that. The parents are always like that. And then his master, like, you knew what she was doing, but you weren't seeing any actual detail. You weren't seeing anything like wet spots or anything like that.
No bips and bops are shown in this show, I believe.
But not even, it's PG-13 as much as you can get without right before. Like it might even, I don't know exactly the rating system perfect, but it's somewhere between not an R and seeing like how far it can go to get to an R.
Probably MA for TV.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would disagree. Yeah, it's just mainly the moaning and like just the upper arm movements, right? Like there's nothing being like
you're
crazy
not seeing
zoom ins, you know. They say that
you're definitely hearing stuff, but you're not seeing stuff.
So, where did we put this on the scale for? The first episode?
I created this one, but it's definitely gonna be at least a 6.
I would say 6 or 7, maybe.
Yeah, and it's probably a solid 7.
Okay. I want to say at the end of episode 8, Cori, you know what I'm talking about?
I haven't even gotten there.
Okay. Let's just go through. Okay, so we hit episode 5. We learned about the Grey Rats and why.
Wait. I wanted to go back to 3 though.
Okay.
So. You already kind of spoiled it, but Sylphie Rudy thinks Sylphie's a boy. And that makes sense, because they're both like 4 years old, and this world doesn't care about 4-year-olds. Anyway, maybe he's 5. Anyway, so he's like 5, and she's like 5, but he thinks she's a boy. And like any experienced anime watcher will be like, oh yeah, that's a girl. Because it was obvious in the way that anime makes it obvious. And to make this episode very awkward, but reminds me of mistakes I've made as a 10-year-old, but not these mistakes.
Oh boy.
Definitely thought definitely thought like, oh yeah, that girl's a dude and we're dudes and it's fine. And like, oh, you're a girl. Oh, that's why your name is like gender neutral. Okay, cool. Sorry. But anyway, that's my history when I was like 9 years old. Anyway, so Rudy is like trying real hard to get Sylph to take a bath and goes way too far. Like taking off clothes. Like, I'm naked, get naked, come on, let's take a shower or bath. And that was the show. And that's how he finds out that Sylph is a girl. And then he's like, oh, I am immediately going to make Sylph my wife now. Like,
so
it wasn't that drastic, but it was...
A 40-something-year-old consciousness in a 9-year-old's body, taking the clothes off of a also like 9-year-old, finds out it's a girl.
And you say 9, and actually they're like 5 or 6.
Yeah, they're like kids.
Oh, 5. So,
because the ages in the show, like, they keep it up.
Yeah.
But it's also like, this is not how 4-year-olds act. I don't care. But anyway.
Because one of them's a 40-year-old. But then to be I'm going to marry this girl who's 4.
Yeah.
It's
older.
Here's the thing. You're totally right on that. Yeah, you're totally right about that. It's like, he is still, his conscious, 33, 4 year whatever, his older self, he's still an idiot. Like, he couldn't tell. I mean, to me, if you were to take away the fact that he's 33 and be like, oh, he's just a 5-year-old, that's reasonable. I could see that's like being played out if, it's a 5-year-old innocent boy, plays one other kid, doesn't know a thing about gender, pulls off his stunt, messes up with the bath scene, and yeah, that's, the normal thing they would do. But the fact that he's like a 34-year-old still thinks, he's still an idiot and he doesn't know any better. It kind of shows like, age.
Also, I just want to mention that every male character who's related to Rudy has strongly suggested or outright stated that he should use protection to have sex with these people when he's not even 10.
Yes. Okay, here's the thing. In episode 3, I think the father mentions womanizing runs in the family. Like, he believes, like, you know what? I think because of how Rudy acted towards himself, the father's trying to like console him, like, okay, you made a mistake, just don't do it again, whatever. And he's thinking to him, the dad's thinking to himself, man, I think womanizing, like, it runs in the family. And again, the sex plot, there are plenty of other times where that comes up, where it's just like, here's some sex with people of the Grey Rat family with, I don't know, one of the anime girls' maids as well, and it just kind of like is just added there.
So you're saying the sex education in this world is better than America, mostly?
No.
They said wrap it up.
Yes. Wrap.
I mean, okay, that point is valid, but okay.
They're open about it.
Better. Maybe it's not. I'm not going to get into that because then I'll take it too serious. But the show has a very the show is the definition of male gaze. That's one. It's men are very, maybe not chauvinistic, but they're very focused on their own gratification. Like if you're the kind of person who believes that men and women are equal, this show does not exactly sell that in a way that you might want them to.
Okay, so it's like
true.
A self-centered masculinity. Like,
yeah. It's not so insane that I'm going to be like actively offended. But if I actually lived in this world, I'd be like, you're not respecting their wishes very much, are you? And they'd be like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I would have to say Rudy, just because of like, if he didn't have his previous self, like his inner voice, he's the only one that's like try to be better. Because like he does mistakes, right? And he's like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And episode 8, oh man, Cori, episode 8 gets a little bit.
I'm getting there.
I felt a little bit. I felt okay. Even
it gets spicy.
If you think Cori feels bad about everything, I also felt a little uncomfortable watching episode 8. All right, so I will have to admit, as the degenerates, I was like, "Yo, we got to slow it back down a bit." I felt comfortable just like getting towards. There's a bad scene between Rudy and.
Man. Wait! Just hold up.
Wait.
Yeah.
I want to get there.
Yeah. We'll get there.
We got to talk about all the bad stuff so we can talk about the good stuff.
Okay.
Because there's so much good stuff for all the bad stuff.
Are you saying episode 8 is good stuff?
It's both. Episode 8 is
It has both.
Oh yeah, I mean
Okay.
all the show,
But
all the
we're
episodes have
gonna
both.
talk about the bad stuff because we have to say it
Yes.
first.
Okay.
We have to, because otherwise it's too easy to glaze over and be like, "Oh, it's so fun! Oh my
Okay.
god, the magic! Oh, the fighting! Oh, the
Oh,
story!
fighting is
Oh,
great.
Give me
it's
the
so
bad.
good!" All right, so we got through 4. Episode 5, I think, was generally tame.
Yeah.
It was basically a transition episode. He gets older. He's talking about going to college, basically, even though he's like 8, to be a better wizard, basically. They resolved the conflict in episode 4, which was Rudy's doing, but it was, it was good. It worked out. And then they send him off to his other Grey Rat family, which you find out later he's not supposed to. They don't want it to be obvious that he's there. So as a consequence of his desires and wanting to go and making money and not have enough money, they force him off to the Grey Rats. And then by episode 6, we meet the tsundere. And she's very normal tsundere. She's like 2 years older than Rudy. And one of the complaints I have about the show is, and I only really realized that when I got to 8, is they jump around like 1 year an episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just boom, 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 boom. It just change. They're rushing to something, or this show is just going to be over in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming they're rushing to get to a point where they're going to just stick when he's like 15, and it's going to be Naruto, like just bam,
Right.
Shippuden now. Like, but we'll see. Because mind you, the first like 200 episodes of Naruto are like when he's 12. Anyway, so in episode 6, he meets the tsundere, or in 5 actually, he meets the tsundere. Yeah. That's like his cousin, mm-hmm. right? Because it's like his dad's.
Yeah, his cousin's daughter, like his uncle's daughter or something like that.
Something like that. Because I don't think it's directly his dad's brother, but it's something like that. It might be his dad's brother, but I couldn't figure it out. So you've been introduced to the Grey Rats and his super loud grandpa, and the tsundere takes after her grandpa, respects her grandpa, and only does what her grandpa says. And so then they like do all this stuff to get her to convince her to study, learn how to dance and some other stuff in the next episode, so on and so forth. So 6 was fine. They really did the tsundere thing, which I'm like, that girl's 9 years old. Please don't go too far with that. And they obviously will. And I guess the main point I'm trying to make is 5, 6, and 7, a lot of building, a lot of introduction about like the society outside of Rudy's home and all that stuff. So it's actually pretty enjoyable. It's not really too bad. Mm-hmm. Is she a wolf lady?
Oh yeah, she's a beast. Ghislaine?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. Ghislaine is wolf beast lady is the Cinderella's bodyguard, and she just has everything out in the open. Besides 2 little lines covering her breastplate as her breastplate. But wow. She is a great character in that sense that, Rudy's also teaching her, and she is a badass with a badass swordswoman. She also mentioned that she was also in a party with Rudy's parents. There's like the 7 of them. They're called the Black Fangs, or the clan of that the group of the Black Fangs. But apparently Ghislaine and Rudy's parents and other people were like famous, like a very strong party.
Yeah. And Ghislaine and Paul definitely hit it because they make it very clear.
Wow.
Very clear. Yep.
Because not even that. He writes in a letter.
Yeah.
I think he said, "Don't have sex with her because she's mine." Was that it, or was it the other way around? Like, I did it. Go for it, son. Like, it was like,
nah. Yeah. He's like,
your kid is 8. What are you doing?
He's like, go ahead with the other girl, but with Ghislaine, she's for me. And they're like, we're gonna send it to mom. Send it to your mom.
Oh man! And there's so many times where there's just straight up hints that Rudy should definitely bang his cousin, the tsundere, before later when we talk about that again. Mm-hmm. Jesus. That cousin love is strong. Apparently,
again, it's like there's a lot of slides of like political war relationships going on.
So it's very much like Game of Thrones or Alabama.
Very nice.
Sorry to
The state of the
Alabama.
musical. The state of the musical.
The state. No, you're thinking Oklahoma.
I'm sorry, Alabama.
No, you're thinking no. Sorry, Alabama. You know where I'm good.
Yeah, you
Alabama.
You're good.
We have a place over here called Alabama Fish. Anyway, whatever. Moving on.
Wow. So it's a
okay.
poly party. The dad's banging everybody.
One more bit about the Grey Rat family. So when he comes to this Grey Rat family, they love their beast people.
Oh, okay.
I mean that in both ways.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on. So Kaoru can rescue a beast, a wolf girl from slavery, and make her stronger via.
Are you going to keep bringing up one time he didn't do something horrible?
But he makes her stronger by giving her injections. But
of his baby juice.
But a whole family can do it. But Kaoru was the bad one. Okay.
Damn, I'm sorry,
he's
Cori.
not bad because he rescued a person one time.
He's not.
That's not how that works.
But I'm saying the method by which he helped her is so terrible. But this family, there's no
less
reason.
Good.
There's no reason for them to be banging the beast people, unless it's to make more beast people.
As I said, I'm talking about all the bad stuff.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
I never said that this show was peaches and cream.
Right.
Probably shouldn't use that word either. Anyway,
they're basically the maids, like the beast people.
Yeah,
are the maids,
all female maids, and they love beast people. And at some point, main character Kun goes up to the tower and finds Grandpa finishing up. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God!
It's not shown, but again, it's very implied.
It's not shown, but she's like, "Oh, gotta put my clothes on and run," and he's like, "Zip," even though he doesn't have a zipper.
So the showing of it makes it more obscene than the implication.
The showing of it would probably make it an 8 at least.
Yeah, probably more than that. Yeah,
it would make the show an 8 on the Ecchi scale.
I see how it is.
Because you don't see bits and bops.
So right now it's a 7.
Oh yeah,
I'd say a 7.
I would say it's a solid 7.
Depending on the next few episodes, could be an 8. Okay, episode 8 makes it an 8.
So far we've got masturbating.
No, it doesn't.
Somewhat teens. We've got children having their
teens
clothes ripped off. Beast people being banged.
Yeah. Okay.
As maids, as servants, it's not. This is a power dynamic I don't appreciate.
Yeah.
But anyway, so again, 8 really doesn't make me feel good about this show.
Go on.
So we learn about the beast. They like their beast people a lot. That's all they hire. They're all female. They definitely have fun with them. Ghislaine is Ghislaine and all that. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else terribly objectionable before we get to 8, Patrick?
No, I think we covered a bunch of that. Just episode 8 just kind of has the bedroom scene and one character that belongs in Kill la Kill or Gurren Lagann. But
I don't remember what you're talking about.
I'll mention that.
Okay.
At the end of it.
So we've gone through 1 through 7. There's some stuff in there I wish they didn't have to do or felt like they didn't need to do because they definitely did it and they had fun doing it.
It's an ecchi show, you guys. It's added there. It is clearly there.
It is. It's an ecchi. It's if you took magic instead. Okay, so never mind. I'm not going to do that. Moving on. 8. Episode 8. Because I was going to start combining 4 different shows and I was going to ruin at least one of them and it's one of my favorites. So now. So episode 8. I think in episode 7, his cousin, the tsundere, turns 10. And he does great things, and he's selling these figurines with removable panties, because that's not gross, to of people he knows who are potentially not even adults yet. Anyway. And the master this whole time has been employed by another rich family, a super rich noble family, and the dude who works the child is constantly groping the master, and then she punishes him in that way that anime does.
It's funny in that
sense.
Yep.
So we'll just assume that everyone's okay with that and move on. Even though, when you think about it too much, it's not. But anyway, so in episode 8, he turns 10. So she turns 10, so it's a party. He turns 10. They're like, okay, you're not supposed to be here. You're a gray rat. yada yada yada. You get all this really interesting story build up, and it's like, oh wow, okay, cool. The mom of the tsundere has always had like this stern face, and we realize why she's like mad at Rudy and all this stuff. It's great. I won't spoil those details.
That's the sigh of a man that's like facing his execution walk.
All right, I can explain this.
You want to do it?
Let me explain.
Go for it. I'll let you do it.
Okay, so again, there's kind of like I believe the father of the tsundere. Man, I really wish I remember her name.
Okay, just set the scene of what listeners.
So the father tsundere, the father tsundere is like saying, "Hey, let me know if you want to, marry my daughter, and because we could use someone or something like that, like maybe he was gonna plan a coup to kind of take over or whatever with the political lines, bloodline, I guess, or something like that.
This is where it gets the most Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it becomes Game of Thrones at that point, and he starts plotting out like there might be a different plot, but again, all the men are wanting their desires, whatever. And so Rudy goes to bed and finds the tsundere. Damn, I just need to find her name.
Wait, okay. His cousin. His uncle cousin, is like, you should marry your cousin.
Yeah.
And he goes to bed.
He finds her there, looking all in her sleeping gown and whatnot. And she's like, oh, I want to keep it company or whatever. And so Rudy's like, he's trying to battle himself. His inner voice is like, okay, I shouldn't do this, but then I want to do this. It gets to that point where, and then he actually, kisses her, and he
asked for permission, like a good modern boy.
Yes,
because she's like,
because he messed up before with Sophie, and so he's like, okay, I shouldn't do that again. Let's approach this the right way, and it gets complicated, and so
no, she says a little bit. The most clear and not unclear thing she could have said was, a little bit, just a little.
And so he does. So.
And again, she's 11. He's 10.
They become kissing cousins.
Oh,
true.
Almost.
Literally.
No, he does. I think he does. And then
I don't. Does he?
I think he does.
Yeah.
Did you block it out of your mind?
Cori,
so terrible.
I unlike you, I remember these things. So okay. Let's continue. Vicky, let me give you the spicy details. His hand slowly goes.
Oh, okay.
Goes down to the nether region.
Oh.
And so it felt
the story.
I'm gonna keep going. 7.
I'm gonna keep going.
7. Okay.
Exactly. This is when it kind of bumps up. Again, I felt a little bit like, okay, I feel wrong, but it goes on, and then she's like, okay, she finally says nope. Punches and kicks him away, and she runs away.
She beats the living crap out of him in every way you've ever seen in an anime from pre-2001.
Right.
Like, just like, no, how dare you, and then she's done.
She kicks his ass?
She leaves. Yeah, I mean, again, in the normal, 90s anime, where it's like, baka, bam.
And right.
Yeah, like she,
stomps him.
Cartoon violence. Cartoon violence for cartoon sexual assault.
There you go.
Except it's kind of not, but also they're 10 and 11.
Except it's 11 and 45 because he's 40.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mentally.
Also that.
Yes. That's why it's like, again,
doubles the creep factor.
Because
no, I don't want. Let me just say this: I don't want to know about 10-year-olds and 11-year-olds trying to do things. I don't.
Right.
So
again,
not at all.
Game of Thrones.
To connect this back to our earlier subject of the age of consent in Japan, where it's like if you're the same age, it's I wouldn't say it's legal. It's just more acceptable.
Yes,
it's more socially acceptable.
Let's say that.
Yeah. Then if there was an age difference, and then you get into the problems.
Sure.
With this, this man
it's both.
Is from the human world. He knows how old he is. He knows how old this kid is. And even though he's redoing life from the beginning physically.
And related to her.
I'm not even... Because I can see how he can get around mentally of the related thing, because he's like, I had my own life. This is just
you can make that argument in your head that I'm not related to her, even though I'm related to her.
Yeah.
I could see that, you want to make that work, so you make it work.
But does he ever call his parents like his parents? Does he treat his parents like they're his parents?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, because I can see him just thinking that he's a grown ass man and he just has to do like
I
live.
think when he was perving out on his mom, he's like, "That's not my mom."
Well, that was the first thought. That was the first time he met her.
And so, but by the time he leaves the house, it's like, "This is my dad. This is my mom. These are my siblings." Because he has siblings, by the way.
Yep.
They pop up from the nurse.
No, from the nurse and the mom. Oh, we didn't say. His mom was pregnant at the same time the maid was.
Yes.
It was a double. That was part of the drama. It was crazy.
It
was a good episode.
He has twin siblings.
Pretty
from
much.
Different moms.
Effectively.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Of course, they have to be sisters. Of course.
Jesus.
Man.
First of all,
about that.
I knew that maid was too pretty for something to not be happening with her eventually. She was way too detailed. I
felt the same way.
She had purple hair? I was like, nothing good is going to come from this. The maid's too
red,
pretty.
Wasn't it?
She got glasses too. Oh my goodness.
I think it was
red.
Now I gotta double check. Maybe it was purple. I thought it was red though.
It was something
Lilia,
different.
Red hair.
But oh my god.
Okay. So again,
40-year-old man in a kid's body.
Look. Here's the argument. Yeah, it's red hair. Here's the argument. Look, that guy is more than a 40-year-old virgin.
There you go. Very nice.
It's not a good argument, but that's the argument.
Was he a virgin in his previous life?
Yeah, that's part of his character.
But that doesn't make it better.
No, it doesn't make it better.
No, that doesn't make it better.
I mean, those are the kind of fumblings a 10-year-old does. He's past that. He needs to be acting like his age, really.
Again.
Is how I see it. Not the age he's supposed to be
the point.
Look, he was a socially awkward Japanese man in 2000 whatever in a different world. He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand that you shouldn't sleep with your cousin.
I have less problem with that than how old the consciousness is in this kid's body.
You really do.
Because
I'm going to have to ask you about that later.
Again.
All right, thanks for coming, listeners. We're going to cut this short. This has been Taku Katsu.
I'm the one that usually
I'm Vicky, and I don't have a problem with you sleeping with your cousin.
But I do have a problem if you are a 40-year-old with age difference. She has her boundaries, Cori. You have your boundaries.
Boundaries is important. The problem, you need to know what your values are.
The problem isn't the age difference of say it's like a 40-year-old and an 18-year-old. That's fine. But it's when it's a 40-year-old in a 10-year-old's body doing 10-year-old fumblings with a similar aged child. It's like, no, you know better. I don't care about your cousin.
I will definitely say this. Age different is relevant. It is important in real life. Anime aside, I'm going to be actually super serious. And so your maturity, your ability to actually have real conversations and address problems and all that is very, very important. So if an 18-year-old is the most mature person in the world, and they meet a 41-year-old who's also the most mature person in the world, will that relationship work? Probably yes.
Mm-hmm.
But ask yourselves, everyone, how many 18-year-olds are that mature? How many 50-year-olds are that mature? Not as many as we'd like.
So you're saying if an 18-year-old wants an age difference to go to 50, not 40.
Just whatever, honestly.
It's whatever.
You can do it. It's legally fine. People are going to look at you like that's a little strange. But honestly, if the two of you are actually mature adults who can get along and make it happen, then it's going to work. Mm-hmm. And if you can't, it's going to fall apart hard and fast.
I thought you were doing a dramatic voice, it's going to fall apart. It's not stable.
Next time. And that's just the truth. Being completely honest. As much as I'm not a huge fan of huge age differences between consenting adults, I'm not going to get in a tiff about it. But I want those two people to be stable, just like any other group of people who are going to hang out and spend time together. I want it to be able to be a good conversation that you can talk about issues and conflicts, and you can do all that because that's how healthy relationships actually develop.
Yeah.
Hello, Kat.
Yeah.
He brought his toy.
I don't know. I would say, as someone that's been in an age different relationship for a long time, and may or may not be in current ones. Anyway, as long as you have someone to talk to, if you have any doubts at all, any red flags, have someone to talk to. Don't get separated from your people. Have your support system. so that you could talk things out and be like, is this normal? Is this not? Relationship things. Relationships are hard.
If I'm going to be serious some more, Women Helping Women is a very good resource. Also, if you are not familiar with what a healthy relationship looks like, one of the things you want to be aware of is if they try to keep you from talking to people, especially your friends, your family. If they don't want you to be around a large group of people and not like very specific individuals for very specific reasons, that's a question that you need to ask yourself. Because if they isolate you, they have power over you. And a good relationship, a healthy relationship, is when you both have equal power. Yeah, sometimes they do stuff. Yeah, sometimes you do stuff. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But at the end of the day, it needs to be you both agree on what's going on.
And it doesn't matter if this applies to teenagers, 20-year-olds, 30, 40, 50s. Any age can fall prey to this. Funny how the better choice of the spectrum scale of if you could redo it all, from Radio of Healer to Mushoku Tensei. This is the one where we, give you guys some resources to be like, hey, what's a good relationship?
That's very true.
That's because this one actually kind of flirts with the thought about good and bad relationships and what's healthy and what's not. While the other one is a rape fantasy.
Let's not call it that. It's just...
Well, let's not call it that, but we could call it that. That's what we're going to do.
To call it what it is.
Oh God!
But if you're going to keep it 100, it's a show where you get to have your revenge.
Hey, let's just call it a revenge fantasy.
Okay, it's a revenge fantasy.
It is 100% a revenge fantasy.
Yeah.
There's also rape involved.
That is an unfortunate
on
part
both
of it.
Sides.
Yeah.
On both sides.
There's rape. Everyone's getting raped. Yeah. It's
that
a horrible
sounds
show.
Terrible. Like
no, of course it's terrible.
But that's why it's revenge.
Of course it's terrible.
What?
We're not denying.
All right.
Okay,
Vicky, I don't know what I did to you in the past, but please don't hurt me. Because if that's what you think of as revenge, I'm in trouble, apparently.
No, you just can't do anything bad to Vicky.
Yes, I apologize. I am sorry, Vicky. Please don't hurt me.
No. The difference, why I take not of umbrage, but where I want to be a little defensive is, I feel like if you say rape fantasy, that's just one power having the power, or one person having the power and doing whatever they want, assaulting people. There's no reason behind it. Revenge fantasy.
Okay, sorry.
Revenge fantasy comes from because he was harmed, he was tortured, he was broken by these people, and his form of revenge just happens to be the same way that they tortured him. That's why I'm a little defensive of rape fantasy, because it's not, he didn't do this because he wanted to have the power and do whatever he wanted.
So again, rape is not about the sex; it's about control.
It
is revenge fantasy. A revenge fantasy is also about control.
Yes,
I'm not personally seeing a difference, but I don't actually want to get that serious because I will get upset.
Yeah,
I know.
We've learned,
hey, we've learned in the previous Redo Healer cast. Let's not make this another Redo Healer cast, guys. This was
please. Let's talk about 44-year-olds trying to bang their cousin, who then after they're like, you know what? It's your 10th birthday. I'll forgive you this time. We're going too far.
Oh my God!
That's what she says at the end, and he's like, "Yay!" And he's like, "Oh no, Sylph!" And I'm like,
"What?
You forgot about your girl, Sylph."
Again. Okay, so this main character, Rudy, even though he's, for what I'm getting from this show is, even though he is he has an inner voice, he has 30 or 40 years of life experience, whatever you take it.
Not great life experience.
It's not great, but he's still fucking up. For me, it's no matter what, he's fucking up all the time. He's still a pervert, and it's this saying again with Voodoo Healer, people are just the people who they are. Apparently, they're gonna revert back to being who they are. But for Rudy, we have an inner dialogue trying to say, I should try to be a little bit better, but he still kind of like can't help him be the pervert and make and continue to make wrong decisions. And I'm pretty sure throughout the next episodes, he's still gonna be,
I admire the thought that he wants to be better. I just can't get over him having knowing like his whole past life. If he started off as a blank slate, if he got Fred, it'd be better. It'd be fine.
If this was a show that wasn't an isekai, this show would be different. Still a little gross.
Yeah.
But better. For that simple fact that he doesn't know better. He's just messing up his way through. And he's like a genius, but he's an awkward genius. And it's like, yeah, dude, I've definitely, twice your age, made relatively similar mistakes. Not my cousin. You know what I mean? Like, I've been like, I've thought what you've done.
Geez, Cori.
I thought about it, and then I decided not to. Or I've done something at a significantly lower level of stupid. And that's what makes the show good, because it exaggerates stuff. Right?
Right. Yeah.
Because we all make dumb mistakes trying to date or meet people or talk to people. And that's what he's doing. Exaggerated. But then, you exaggerate certain things the way that I don't need to know about. Like 10-year-olds trying to bang.
I do like, it's very slice of life. Like these are not every slice is gonna be great.
It's slice of life with a slice of sex. Like
hey,
this pie's got sex on it.
Yeah. This again, like I said in the first episode, if you were to take away that inner voice, and it would just be, like I said, it'd be about a kid who's a genius, and he's just he's just following his natural instinct, like all men do in the show. Not all men in real life, but in the show.
Okay, I'm glad.
I appreciate that extra bit there.
Yeah, me too.
Because Cori's right. All the men in the show that we've seen have all been pretty sketchy. Even there's like Gin character again, the uncle, whatever. He's like, he seemed like a good guy, but he's like, he is down on his dirty deeds. He has an underlying plan and probably wants to use Rudy to his advantage as well. Yeah. And all of the men apparently seem to be very sketchy. And again, we have this perspective of somewhat of a morality in Rudy. And so as a viewer, like, we're trying to root for him, but man, is he fucking up. He is still fucking up. Man. We're trying to root for him. Yeah.
Like every time I'm like, go Rudy. No, stop, Rudy.
Exactly like, yes, Rudy, that's my boy. Like keep on studying. He in one episode he's trying to learn different languages. And I'm like, yes, everyone keep learning Japanese, guys. Keep trying. I know it's difficult, but make it through.
Ikimasho.
Yeah. And then he's like, nope. And then he just does messed up things and messed up decisions. Like, okay, it's hard to keep on rooting for you, Rudy. But we're on this journey together.
All right. So now that we have thoroughly dunked on this show, some of the stuff I love about the show, again, I do think that the sort of I was reincarnated and I was, a NEET, and now I'm trying to like make my life better. That's a good hook. Obviously, the downside is what we just talked about for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it's a huge downside.
You see why I break it up each week and I just give you guys a little bit?
Yeah, because never mind. I'm just dunk on that show some more, but never mind. No, it's a good show. Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation is an enjoyable show. You do have to purposely acknowledge there's going to be some stuff that's not going to be stuff you want other people to see you watching at that second. Because most of the time you're like, oh, yeah. Okay, what's that? Moving on. Okay, what's that? Moving on. Oh, you're trying to bang your 11-year-old cousin.
Look, it makes you feel things. This anime makes you feel...
Oh, it makes you feel things.
Makes you feel good. Makes you feel bad. Kind of horny. Disgusted. Disappointed, but also makes you feel good. Later on, it's like here's some treats. Here's some treats, and then
it's
here's
a roller coaster.
Here's some treats, a roller coaster. Here's a beating.
Yeah, more treats though. There's definitely the treats do outweigh. I don't know, but
it's a really enjoyable show.
It's a wild
that
ride.
Has some really questionable choices when it comes to sexual intercourse.
It sounds engaging in a lot of different ways.
It is. The magic just started like popping off now. Like there's some magical thing going on. That was in the sky, and then they thought it was Rudy, and it wasn't, and it's just like, oh my god, what's going on? It's really good.
It started to turn into a fight anime.
Ooh.
And like there's some good fight scenes. Like the animation on that is pretty dope. We kind of get some like look at that, but then I think the initial premise of it, of like, oh, it's a Isekai boy in the magical world. Let's learn about mana and the spell incantations. I feel like that video game part of it, the fantasy, kind of like him trying to learn things, is kind of not at the forefront anymore. It's like it's just kind of in the background, because what's more interesting about the show is the drama and the relationships, because you would think like, oh, like he was learning about different things, like what is there a job system, is there a magic system, but in most of the cases that really doesn't play up. There's one point where he's trying to do like compare Japanese yen to the money in that fantasy world, but it's just a little small tidbit. It's not the main focus of the show.
This is like a better but still hornier version of I Was Reincarnated as the Eighth Son, which was a show that I watched. It was not that great, but I still enjoyed watching it. But this is like a better animated, hornier version of that. It's got the similar like, I was reincarnated, I can do magic, no one else can do magic, I should take over this land, but maybe I don't want to, I don't want to cause trouble, all these ladies want to bang me. Like, it's that. It's very like bog standard. Don't watch it because it's not, watch it if you're bored, that's it. But this is that, but better. But also, you get all of the other bad stuff dialed up. Oh man, you know what? When they release a female version, right?
Oh,
lady gets reincarnated, and it's a reverse harem or a harem. I am down just so I can have some gender parody, and I say parody knowing that that's not parody. But anyway, I want to watch it.
I would watch that show. I would watch that
right
show
now. Like if
you think there would be one,
I reincarnated as a spider, so what became a harem? I'm gonna get excited. Like, this is dumb, but I'm into it now. She's a spider. She's gonna get some dude harem spiders or something. I don't know. I'm into it though.
There were a bunch of spiders in that intro, so I would hope that those aren't her copies.
They were not human minds on those spiders. Those spiders are eating each other, and not in a fun way. So yeah, the art's fantastic in the show. The story super engaging. It's a little quick. Like they are jumping through like ages. Like just he's 5 or he's like 2. Like he's born, then he's 2, then he's like 4, then he's 5. He has a birthday. Then he's 6. He's sent out. He's 7. He's 8. She has a birthday. He's 9. He's 10. He has a birthday. We're on episode 8. Like he is aging almost every episode, at least 1 or 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Slices of life.
Like, yeah, but slice of life is usually the opposite. It's like nothing happens for 20 episodes and then a week has passed.
Mm-hmm.
This is like everything keeps happening every year, but you only see the important parts, which is, not bad, but it's definitely moving quick, but it's not.
Mm-hmm. You only see that slice.
The pacing is good. The pacing is good for it being so fast. It makes sense that we're not spending, literally, 5 episodes on his aging from 4 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Did I miss? Is Sif his sibling?
No. Sylphie is a green-haired something demon, not a demon. I don't know. I just know that if they're green hair and have a little jewel on their face, they're scary. If they're just one of those, they're not scary. But anyway, she's a green-haired something, and she's like a girl, and she's super awkward, so she's basically the girl next door.
Yeah, I think she's an elf, I believe.
Yeah, probably. So
this wasn't like the dad banged the mom and...
No.
We don't know.
We don't know, actually. That's a good point.
Bum.
Hopefully not, but they don't care about cousin loving, so...
Hey,
so that
it's a fantasy world.
He's the knight of this area. He also might be the daddy of this area.
Who?
Like he fathers all the kids in this area.
He could.
Yeah.
The way that they have built up that Gray Rat family, they get around.
Yes, they do.
If they were all adventurers like the dad, hey, that's like rock star lifestyle.
Spreading the seed.
Mm-hmm.
Let everybody know, hey, I'm the top.
Like in Game of Thrones, Baratheon had a lot of kids. They kind of got cut down before they could get too old, but one made it.
And guess what? Guess what? There's one character who can apparently speak to dragons by looking at them in the eyes, and there are dragons in the show. The character, he's like, I don't know, just badass. And he has dragon eyes, and a bunch of dragons attack him. He's like, stares at them, communicates, and
he lets them go on their way. He was like at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
At the end of episode 8, we are introduced to the villains. Apparently, like we have like three villains apparently in the show. Like, in episode 8, we have like 4 or 3 villains or like new characters that are introduced. They're like, we have like the old guy. We have this lightning kind of dude.
The lightning ninja dude. Lightning ninja dude.
Cool. We have the dragon boy. Okay, and we have a panty and Scott stalking character, which is the lolly demon. Cori, do you remember the lolly demon?
I legitimately forgot about
exactly, Cori. I remember these things. If you look up her name,
I almost want to Google lolly demon.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Okay. Oh wait.
The lolly demon.
Okay. No. Pause.
Okay.
Everybody who's listening to this ever, I need you to type in C the control.
See the control. What?
Yeah. Give me a second. Let me double check because I always spell it wrong. See the control.
The control.
Yeah. See the. So okay. See. Oh Jesus! I hate this title and I love this anime and it's not even that good, but I love it. It's called C. The Money of Soul Impossibility Control, which is obviously why I either call it See the Money or See Control because that name is stupidly long. And if you look at images, one of the images will definitely be the demon girl, who is definitely that thing we just talked about.
For sure. What? I sadly cannot join in on this endeavor, but I'll talk about how.
Oh, yep.
I enjoy Redo of Healer for the story and the plot.
I'm not denying your enjoyment.
But it seems like it's going to be just a 12-episode thing. This one seems like it's building up to be a 24.
Yeah.
All right, take a look at that. That's probably the most tame you're going to ever see her.
Let's take a look.
Okay. That's not too bad.
Could be worse.
That's
not much worse. But it could be worse.
Okay, so I'm gonna let me shortly post you what this character is, but
let me put it like this: the picture on the box set makes it look like you're trying to upskirt her non-existent chest under her very very small shirt, if you want to call it that. Like you're getting underboob that doesn't exist, and that doesn't make it feel any better.
What the? Wait, Emperor of the Demon World. Is this a boy? Is this a trap?
No, that's not a trap.
For Mushoku Tensei?
Oh, yeah. My bad. Let me look.
The character that Cori obviously, I understand Cori blocks out all of these important characters.
Oh God!
This character goes up at the end of Mushoku Tensei, and I was like, wait a minute, am I watching a different anime?
Yeah, like this is a total.
She totally like pops out, but like, wait a minute. She doesn't belong in the show, guys. She's like
I forgot about that so much. I was so happy not to remember this.
I'm just like, is this a trap or nah?
I'm pretty sure it's not.
I'm sure it's not.
It had a female voice.
Yes.
It's got the like oh God damn it.
There's been plenty of traps with a female voice.
Okay, that's fair.
That is true.
That's a good point. But
Scarpenter had one.
Mm-hmm. What in the...
But yeah, with that character being introduced, expect good times.
It's definitely going up in rating from the overall.
Did either of you watch Overlord the last season?
Mm-mm.
Did you watch Overlord at all?
Mm-mm.
Oh. All right, give me a second. Overlord's got some thirsty characters, I'll tell you right.
I mean, we are familiar with that, I don't know, the one with the horns. I mean, she's
Albedo.
Albedo. Oh my god.
Yeah, Albedo will let you bet her. I'll tell you right now.
There's lots of ads. She pops up in everywhere, so you can't escape her.
Hey, I will take Albed if she won't murder me.
They included her as a character in AFK Arena.
Yeah, she's a character. She seems nice.
She's just horny on main for the Overlord.
Oh yeah, super. No, it's not Overlord. I'm getting it confused with a much worse anime. How not to summon a demon lord.
Wait a minute. What did you say?
Said how not to semen, and I was like,
that's not what I meant. This is what I said. I tried to pretend it didn't happen, and we got evidence.
Wait a minute.
Because that's absolutely what I heard, and I was like,
that's only what I heard.
I was trying to pretend I didn't say it because it did. All right. So in How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, which is another super, well, it's pretty edgy.
Yeah, it looks super.
I think we put that on it's definitely 7 at least. The Demon Lord in that show, the actual demon, if you know the show, you'll know what I mean. She is definitely your 2,000-year-old lolly demon lord. It's pretty bad. Here's a good picture. Here's a good picture. I'll show it to you.
Here's the thing, guys. If you're a demon, you're gonna be a lolly. That's just how the game goes.
It's like if you're a high-powered girl,
lollipops.
You're lolly. It's a way. What the?
Yes, that's how the game goes.
Like,
yep, that looks exactly like the girl from Mushoku Tensei.
Yeah, that's why I thought of it because I'm like, yep. Nope.
It's almost an uncanny picture of her.
Unbelievable. Yeah, right. So they just ripped them off wholesale.
So here's what I've been. I was because as I've said before to you, and not on screen on podcast. I don't think I watch a lot of Mother's Basement, and it was Mother's Basement or was it Glass Reflection? It was one of those two, and they were saying that one of them was saying that Mushoku Tensei, whatever, this show that we were talking about is actually super old. Like it's been around for at least a decade, maybe even decades. Ooh, so it was like early Isekai. And so a lot of its tropes are actually ones that it established and then other people copied. So
that's very interesting.
Kind of like how Harry Potter was not the original. Like that was it's total ripoff from The Worst Witch. Like from everything from classes to like different houses technically to a hard ass teacher that really isn't that hard. That's everything.
It is I've never heard of that. But the original novel, not light novel apparently, just straight up book is from 2012.
Wow.
I just have to say the Mushoku Tensei, if that's true, Mushoku Tensei was ahead of its time because all of these kind of like, I mean, I'm trying to think when was Game of Thrones made? Like, I probably around 8 years ago, probably the same time. 10 years ago.
Yeah,
so it's kind of very similar with Mushoku Tensei and Game of Thrones being released around the same time. Like, the games are.
Game of Thrones itself was written
way before
90s,
then, right? Yeah, way before
2000s, something like that.
That actually makes sense.
Maybe that's why isekais feel so redundant. They're all based on this first one. Mushoku Tensei, and it's like
I don't know what they're just first redoing isekai was, other than maybe Dot Hack Sign though.
Oh yeah,
that's like or no before Dot Hack Sign. Oh god, I just watched it.
But Dot Hack Sign.
Lotus War.
What was that?
The one where the girl goes to the moon. Is that Record of Lotus War, or is that the other one?
Are you thinking of?
It's not Record of Lotus War. That's a different show.
Are you thinking of?
I just watched it.
The one with the girl.
Yes.
And there's the boy who's actually a girl.
Dragon. No.
And then there's
I know what you mean. Escaflowne.
Visions of Escaflowne.
Yeah.
That is a pretty good show. I definitely didn't like it as much as I hoped I would, but Visions of Escaflowne, very good.
Yes.
That was a harem as well. But
it was reverse, quote unquote.
A little bit, yeah.
True.
Female-led harem. I'm gonna try and use it that way. Because that was an isekai, but it wasn't like I died and was, and that's the thing. Like Dot Hack, Visions of Escaflowne, even everybody's favorite Sword Art Online. Mm-hmm. They're not the same kind of trapped or transported to another world as we've come to Truck-kun today.
I would say Escaflowne and Dot Hack Sign, those never called themselves isekai.
No, but we didn't have that as a genre title.
Yeah.
In the 90s and the 2000s.
But once it did become a genre title, like they were all just redundant and just doing the same thing over that you've seen so many times.
You copy what's good because you want to make money, not because you're being original.
But that's why I think they copied this one, Mushoku Tensei, because it's actually pretty good.
Or at least they were thoroughly inspired. I mean, again, better versions of this show, I don't know what those are. This is a very good version of it. It's got a lot going for it, even if it's got a lot of porn going for it too. Mm-hmm.
It's the Game of Thrones of anime.
In so many ways.
I don't know
so many ways.
Okay,
I don't know if it's that much.
It's not to that level.
I haven't watched Game of Thrones. So.
Yeah, not to that level, but there are things like, it has a story, but there's a little bit of, raunchiness to it. I mean, some people would argue that with Vicky's point of Redo Healer, great story, some bits of raunchiness. But if you could look past that,
bits and bops of raunchiness.
you only see the bits. You don't see any bops.
But... Well, it's a 9.9 for a reason.
Any other thoughts you guys got on sharing?
I think I've exhausted the my whole point there.
You've cleaned your sin closet of its skeletons. And
for today, anyway, I'm sure I can gain some more tomorrow when I watch.
How does that make you feel that you've finally confessed your sins, Cori, of the show?
I feel like that the Lutheran, Protestant Reformation has already cleared me of my requirements, so I'm good to go. That's a religion joke, everyone. Quick question I'd asked earlier. Patrick, have you figured it out?
Yes.
What is like your show?
Yes, my show we're gonna watch for next week is called...
Oh, no, I'm sorry. What's your, show?
Oh,
like,
my show.
If you're gonna have an anime that you're gonna watch, your Desert Island or whatever?
Oh, pick one item that you would take with you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough one, but I keep going back to Higurashi every time.
That's it.
I think that's it. I don't know. That has a lot of things that I like going for it. Not the OVAs, just the main story, because OVA gets really, really ecchi.
Okay.
Yeah, the OVAs get really ecchi.
You know what? A man on an island by himself.
Hey, you may as well take it with you.
Okay, I'll take the OVAs with me as well.
Look, Wilson can only do so many things.
Hey, more things for me to watch, guys. But Higurashi would probably be the anime I would want to watch. I would share it with people, even although it is not everyone's taste. But once you have that taste, I mean, if it fits your taste, you're gonna eat all of it.
Yep. Welcome to the table. Cori, I think we can guess what yours is, but what's your go-to anime?
All right. Well, my anime is Ranma half.
Yes.
Not one half, because that mathematically doesn't make sense. But now I need to look at the title, but I'm pretty sure it's Ranma half.
I thought it was one half.
I know everyone says one half, but I think it's because we're being weird and we're reading it weird. But it's let me double check, because I've thought it's Ranma half. And it makes more sense it's Ranma half because he transforms into a girl. So he's half. But yeah, if I was on Desert Island, I'd definitely watch Ranma. But like go to, what do you mean?
No, like that it's your anime that is most influential, most impactful.
Yeah.
Your favorite.
No, probably Ranma, because any show that I've liked that was a harem anime, I like Ranma more. I mean, because I definitely, as a teenager, I'm gonna watch my Tenchi Muyo on Toonami and be very happy, or love Hina and feel slightly guilty because love
girly shows.
It's not that girly, but it's Love Hina, whatever. It like Love Hina is definitely super tame by comparison now.
Oh,
but at
yeah.
the time, I'm like, oh my goodness, she's in her towel. Right? Like it's by comparison. Anyway, but yeah, I think Rama just it's got a lot of things. It's got a little bit of martial arts, not real martial arts, but it's got some fun stuff. It's got your ecchi elements for when you want that, and I just like rom-coms anyway. And it's a really long one by the person who wrote other things that are super long, like Inuyasha, Maison Nikoku, and
still so crazy.
Urusei Yatsura.
Yeah.
What was that?
That the same person that did Rama half did Inuyasha.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that
now
is wild.
supposedly Yashahime?
Yeah, which I've watched 5 episodes of, and I'm still like, whatever.
Mine is always and forever going to be Revolutionary Girl Utena. Just straight classic. You got your girl doesn't need a prince. She becomes her own prince, saves the girl. They've got a will they, won't they relationship. I think they eventually do, because it's just so good. Even the movie, crazy as it is, I would take with the whole franchise because it's
How many times have you watched Utena all the way through?
I've watched the anime itself all the way through 2 or 3 times. It's a long series. Not super long. It's maybe like 60 episodes. And the movie 3 or 4 times. Just because it's a series where every time you rewatch it, there's more stuff that you haven't noticed the first time around. Because there's shadow theater and so many metaphors just built into every frame of this anime series. It's just so good, y'all. And it's wholesome. You can share it with your family.
Yeah. Unless they're like really, really conservative about like ladies wearing men's uniforms.
I mean, it's still really good. It's still
like that's literally the only thing I think that they would ever like. Someone would definitely be like, "Wait a minute,
why is she wearing a boy uniform?" No, but that's the whole point of it. Is like she's challenging these societal norms.
Yeah,
where they're like, "All right, here's your uniform." She's like, "Nah, I want to wear that one," and that would have been me. I wanted to be in the Boy Scouts. I wanted to wear the cool like suits instead of the stupid skirts that never really fit. It's just good stuff.
Yeah, so for my pick again with Higurashi, that's probably not the safest pick because that show does go places and is very uncomfortable. But I guess I have to like again remind myself of what's all the anime I've seen and pick one. Because I don't want to be like
Higurashi. Yeah, we know it is.
We know it's Higurashi, but for me like another easy pick would, and it just doesn't sound exciting, but it would be like Clannad because I do like that kind of like
clamp style.
Yeah, the clamp or that romantic comedy anime as well. Growing up, so
my main thing is I keep feeling like whenever someone says Clannad, they're like, if you're ready to cry, go watch that. And I'm like,
yes, it's true, and I love that show. That show is it will make you cry.
Never watched it. Not interested in tears.
It's gonna make you cry.
I just want to see some people meet cute so then they can mess up their relationship and I can be like relatable. I mean, okay, if I may justify my point just a bit. As a person who has been very awkward or scared to get in relationships in the past, romantic comedies are that. Except there's a promise at the end that all the effort is worth it. And that's what I like about that. Because I was going to say something about sports anime, because that's what we talked about originally when we started it today. Sports anime basically has that same work hard, get through it together, you'll win. Like that is the message, and it's a great message, and it hits to the core. And there's someone I played sports since I was like 8, so it's like yes, that's it. And it's a simple formula. I used to read those books, like they were like young adult or even like middle school, like 10, 11, 12. And they were just like sports, like basketball, football. It was the same formula, every one. I'm like, I love this thing. Read it, next, read it, next, read it. It was great.
I love sports anime for that feeling of like the trying, the failing, the trying again despite failing, and then the success, and just the tension of the storylines. It's so good. And it's
So you're saying your favorite anime is Keijo?
Oh.
if it was a male version, then it would be. Hell yeah.
Oh my god! I want
Oh,
to watch
geez.
that so bad.
Oh, jeez.
Can you imagine how horribly funny that would
That would be amazing.
Right? Okay.
We also got the front
Okay.
part too, you know.
Yep.
No. That's it. I want a whole other. Okay, let's wrap this up.
Male
I want
Keijo.
to talk about the male version of Keijo. It could be like a 10-minute just bonus somewhere else. But let's wrap up this one.
Well, we have talked about sports anime, starting with Skate the Infinity. Love it. Gotta
Yes.
have more
Good.
of it. We will be watching Patrick's sport pick next week of
Go ahead,
pretty
tell us what it is.
yeah.
Yep, it's going to be Uma Musume, Pretty Derby, which involves horse girls, which are not horse girls, but because they still have two legs. I was interested if they were actually like centaur women, and that would be more interesting for me to watch.
I
How ecchi?
Horse girls.
How ecchi is this show gonna be? Is it
Okay,
gonna be like
okay.
really ecchi, or just kind of like a little?
Okay, that depends if you are a particular person, if you are a particular quiet type who enjoys.
If you're a gray rat, you're gonna really like this episode.
Yes,
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if you are a gray rat and are fond of beast folk, and yeah, because I mean they've got ears, and I'm sure that's obviously going to be a plot point, you know, for the plot.
How many ears do you want on your Neko Mimi? 2 or 4?
2.
Oh, 2, just 2.
Can't have human ears?
No human ears.
I think everyone agrees with it. I'm still going to ask that question every time. Because it fascinates me, the idea. It's like, wait, Holo only has 2 ears. What's there? What's covering the hair? What?
It's just hair.
What's going on here?
The sides are just...
But like, what is the side of the face look like now? Like, there's no ear.
It's just smooth.
Yeah.
It's smooth.
It's a skull.
Is that not a little bit creepy?
The holes are higher. Like, move the ear up.
Yeah.
We never put Skate the Infinity on the scale, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it at a preemptive 4.
4?
Because of that deal.
Because of the Hisoka businessman deal.
Yeah. I'm gonna sit with 4 with the potential to drop it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't assume that's gonna get any ecchi, but yeah.
Like a 3 or 4.
Yeah.
It'll sit around there.
Safe pick.
I mean, as long as he doesn't start saying boys or you know,
oil.
So scary. Like just real creepy group. Like I don't need him to look at like the boys like Hisoka looks like Gon. I don't need that.
I don't want him to baby calling them children, like hello children. Welcome my children. Yeah.
And it's like licks his lips like
he's got the fingertips going like this.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
bungee gum. It has the properties of
both rubber and gum.
That villain better pay off. They showed him. They teased us so much with that little bit. I'm like, he better pay off, man.
Hey, and the ones that follow for me, you will like this. Take a tip. You'll want to watch it. We skipped the sin bin today and took a little dip into Cori's sin closet with Mushoku Tensei. And I just have to say, it's fine when a 40-year-old man in a 10-year-old body does it, but when Kaoru does it, it's all terrible.
They're not doing the same thing at all.
It doesn't happen. There was consent. It doesn't actually happen. I'm
just
like,
yeah.
Truthfully, she gave consent and then removed consent, and then he got his ass beat, and that was barely okay because he needed to stop, and she hit him. All right, moving on.
But can she give consent when she doesn't know he's really? Anyway, well.
Oh boy! I
and
see
again,
where you're coming
you're
from.
less bothered by cousins doing things.
I'm much less bothered
than old men in reincarnated. Okay, how do we determine consent if someone's reincarnated? How do we determine that? That is a whole level of like nonsense.
That's what I've been struggling with this whole time, because I'm like, I don't care about the cousins. At least if it's cousins of the same actual age, they can consent or deconsent as they please.
It was
Children
okay. It was okay during the time, you guys. It was okay during the time.
They're children doing children things. But this is a grown-ass man trying to do children things. And it's like, nah, bro.
Oh, no. Only. Please don't call those children things.
It's like if they're playing doctor. Wait a minute.
Exactly.
You guys don't play doctor?
Exactly.
You've never done that? You never played doctor?
He was not. Okay.
Wait a
minute. You're right.
No, Patrick knows what I'm talking about.
You're right.
It's the games adults know, because you don't want to think of kids playing it. But you would be abhorred to know, like, an adult trying to
actual
just
adult.
I can make bad justifications all day, but I will say this: you're right. It's gross. It's creepy. Just like your show, it's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. It invites debate. It's good plot, and anything that inspires debate is just going to be.
It's going to be enjoyable to talk about, at least.
Yep, exactly. And then we took a little trip into what our go-to animes was. And yeah, that's a good time, good talk. Patrick, you'll need to have maybe a sin. What's your sin collection gonna be called?
Man.
What's your sin collection?
What's my sin collection?
What terrible things have you done?
I mean, I can't reach out of the 10 out of 10 scale, so that's awfully off the scale already. So
your sin attic, your sin basement.
I'm gonna box of DVDs that his mom found in the basement.
Those are mine. Sin. That's not mine. I never popped any of those onto my computer.
No,
not once.
You used the DVD player.
Nope.
When everybody was gone.
Nope. Don't have a PlayStation back in the day.
So you've got a sin file. Well, thanks again, listeners, for joining us this week as we went over the various topics we just recapped. I have been here with Patrick.
It's a boy.
And Cori.
Rama is a boy until he's not.
And myself, I'm Vicky. Red-haired boys, so fiery. But blue-haired boys, so cool, so calm.
What about black-haired boys who turn into red-haired girls?
I'm not.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I'm not down for it. That's so tsundere. It seems very tsundere.
Rama. It's yes.
I know it's Rama.
Shoot, but it's female Rhonda. Female Rama is a tsundere.
Yeah, like
I never thought of that, but it's the truth.
Yep.
What about red hair girls who are, around your age but also related to you by blood and.
And are 11.
What about those type of girls?
And are 11 years old.
Yeah. I mean,
and they're like,
I didn't say 11. It's around your age, right? It's around your age. It's not 11. It's you're around the same age.
Well, thank you, listeners, again. Put in the comments what you think below. Give us your opinions. We want to hear this stuff. Don't forget to check out our Twitter.
Do you love your cousin, and why is it okay?
We're not in Alabama or in that fantasy world.
We're not in Mushoku Tensei.
So, again, sorry, Alabama, but I think it's true. I think you got a first cousin kissing thing in law. Like you can marry your first cousin.
I mean, if we're going to be honest about it, as long as they don't recreate, there's no chance for any kind of genetic abnormalities that will curse your children forever.
Yep. We here at Taku Katsu agree on adult consent of consent times, and taking that consent away should be respected, and resources if you're in a bad relationship. So yeah, thanks again, everybody. This has been Taku Katsu. Join us next week.